Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing a short comparison video of two pens that I'm always asked about, and they are these. So we have here the Twbsi Eco and the Twbsi Diamond 580. Now this is the regular 580, not the 580 AL or ALR. What happens is generally whenever I post either of these on any of like the social media forums or anything, or talk about them, one question that always comes up in my videos or on my threads or otherwise is which is better, or which should I go for, the Eco or the 580 or whatever. So what I thought I would do is I'd quickly run over a few points that I think are pertinent in making that choice. I want to say straight up though, that choice is personal. There are features of both of these pens that people either like or dislike. And some people will prefer the Eco, some people will prefer the 580. Now, personally, I prefer the 580. I like the slightly heavier weight, and I also think that the aesthetic of the pen is a little more my style. Also, sorry about all the ink on my hands. I've had a messy few days. That's beside the point. So that choice will be yours. Whether you want the larger nib or the smaller nib, whether the colors that the Eco are available in, because the Eco is available in a number of different finishes. There've been a couple of different versions of the 580 as well. But the Eco, you know, there's like the yellow and there's the transparent colors and there's the gray and the, you know, there's a lot. And there's also the Eco T, which is more triangular than hexagonal. So I'm really going to just run through parts and features of each of the pen and put them alongside each other so you can make the choice for yourself. I'll also give a couple of, along the way, a few things about what I prefer, because, well, this is my YouTube channel and these are my pens and I want to explain why I like them. So let's start with the Eco. Now, the Eco retails for around, I'm just going to give you US retail prices from one particular retailer, just to give a concept of the price difference. So the Eco retails for $32.99. in its standard version. There are more deluxe versions, you know, things like with rose gold trim and that kind of stuff. The basic Twbsi Eco, $32.99. Has an ink capacity of about 1.76 milliliters, which is a really good ink capacity. Now, I've inked up both of these pens with the same ink, so I'm going to do a little writing sample. It's Lamy Black for those playing along at home, but the barrel of the pen is completely transparent. You get the piston mechanism at the back, the knob at the front, a screw cap, in that hexagonal shape with the plastic medallion there put in the top, just an injection molded medallion. Nice usable clip, great for pen cases, all that kind of thing. This little section, which is slightly, ever so slightly triangular and does taper down. And then what is a rather small, like around kind of, it's around a number 4 size nib, but they are nibs made for Twbsi by another brand. It's logoed with, engraved with their logo. It's all very nice. Completely plastic, little O-rings and things to seal it. It's a good pen. It's a nice size in the hand. As I said, the barrel is cylindrical, whereas the cap and the piston knob there are hexagonal. But it is, yeah, perfectly round and smooth. And so there's that slightly smaller nib there, regular plastic feed. Steel nib available in everything extra fine, medium broad, and a 1.1 millimeter stub. So, and I should say, there are also third party marketplaces who make nibs for the Twbsi pens in different sizes as well, like Architect grinds and things like that. You can find them by simply Googling exactly what you want. Okay, so that is the Eco. I should say it's also branded there on the cap band, Twbsi Eco, made in Taiwan. That is the Eco. Okay, this is not even the most affordable option from Twbsi. They now have the Go and the Swipe. The Go being my preference of those two, uses the exact same nib as the Eco. But this is a nice sort of entry level pen. Next we have the Diamond 580, and it is named Diamond because it's got these diamond shaped facets on the barrel of the pen. So this is the bigger brother of the Eco in a number of ways. Firstly, it's got this nice little like logo underneath a little sort of dome of plastic. Once again, a good sort of springy clip, a nice big metal center band there on the edge of the cap to prevent it from cracking. The barrel is like fairly straight with these diamond facets, which you do feel. You feel like there's a little sort of a swell out, but it's all kind of uniform. You get the piston mechanism at the back. Once again, this is all completely transparent. Silver ring piston turning knob. This has an ink capacity of 1.98 mils, so a good quarter of a mil, almost more than the Eco. But also it comes at a higher price point of $50 to $55 depending on the version you get, and it is, once again, can be more depending on what you get. There's also the AL and ALR versions, which have a bit more metal than plastic in them. So the cap, once again, screws off, and once again, O-ring threads, round section this time with a little metal ring at the end, and then a slightly larger nib. This is just around, like, I put it vaguely between a foot, like around the 5-ish mark. It's like a 5.5 or something like that. Once again, labeled Twbsi. The pen is once again labeled on that big nice center band there. Twbsi Diamond 580 Taiwan. This has a really good cap liner in it, and generally speaking, this is a good size pen, slightly narrow section, same as the Eco actually, but good in the hand. Does not post. Well, it does post, but it posts sort of just onto that piston turning knob, and if you twist it the wrong way, taking it off, it can easily activate the piston mechanism. I should just say the Eco does post, and it posts onto a little O-ring at the back there, as opposed to onto the knob. So it's a little bit safer. This has a little bit more weight to it. And it's a pen, and I enjoy that because of it. It's got a much more generous nib. This is the second 580 that I've had, and both nibs were quite generous for mediums. These happen to both be mediums. I chose mediums for this video. And when I do the writing sample, you'll see what I mean by just a little bit more generous. Let's talk about some specific size things now with the pens, shall we? So with both pens capped, you can see they're a fairly similar size. Similar width barrels there, 12.8 millimeters on the Eco and 13 millimeters here on the 580. So good size. As I said, the sections are also both the same size, around 10 millimeters. The length of the pen is 139 for the Eco versus 143 for the 580. Uncapped, the Eco actually comes out 1 millimeter longer. It is 131 millimeters versus 130 millimeters. Then when they're posted, you can see the Diamond 580 here doesn't post super deep. So this becomes about 176 millimeters versus 162 millimeters. As I said, both sections in their middle point is about 10 millimeters. So they feel very similar in the hand. The difference in terms of weight of the pens is 21 grams for the Eco versus 27 grams for the 580. Now, the balance of these is odd. When they're uncapped, so just the pen, the Eco is 13 and the 580 is 14 grams. So very minimal weight difference. But then the weight is in the caps. So you get 8 grams in the cap of the Eco and 13 grams in the cap of the 580. So all that sort of metal around the top and everything, it actually means that almost half the pen's weight for the Eco is put on the back of the pen. Therefore, I prefer to write with this unposted. It's a good size in the hand. In fact, I generally write with both of them unposted. The Eco just feeling a little, well, it's strange. It's only 1 gram, but it feels just a little bit lighter. We'll do a very quick writing sample with these pens now. So we have the Twbsi Eco. This is the white with a steel medium nib, and the ink is Lamy black. Good solid black, perfectly fine, and also, easy to get hold of. So it's a fairly wet writer, but doesn't lay down a massive line. It's smooth. And it's consistent. It's a nice writer. The Eco is reliable. It's one of the reasons why, if you're wanting to graduate from cartridge converter pens, like things like the Metropolitan or the Safari, there's something like the Twbsi Eco is a really great step up. The piston filler gives it a nice capacity, but also it's got a more traditional nib than, say, the Lamy. It's got a good range of nibs, good range of colors, and it writes really well and really consistently. I really enjoy how the Eco actually writes on the page. It's why I've got a number of them and why I often use them to review ink. But let's have a look now at the 580. So, with Lamy black ink. Now you can see just how wet this pen is writing. It's an absolute gusher. People complain about Twbsi's being dry. I don't think either of these pens could be called dry, and I've done nothing to these nibs. Very smooth, as I said, very wet. Never any concern about ink starvation or, hard starts or anything like that. One of the reasons I really like the Diamond 580 is simply it's a well-made pen. It's got a lot of good stuff going for it in terms of the construction and the aesthetic, but also the ones I've had have written really, really well. Now, there have been issues with Twbsi's over the years with them cracking, and I think that for the most part, Twbsi has tried to rectify that. So with the 580, there were originally different versions like the 540 and stuff, and they've made alterations. The AL and the ALR made alterations, strengthened the pen. And the Eco, I think, has had little modifications done over the years, extra O-rings, things like that. It is a the Eco is a really great way in, but if you've used Safaris and Metropolitans and maybe a few sort of Chinese fountain pens or Preppies and things like that, if you're wanting to invest just a little bit in taking a next step up, I would actually go the 580 personally. It's my choice of pen out of these two, just for the quality of the writing experience and just that sort of slightly more, I don't want to say professional aesthetic, but it's a much more traditional aesthetic perhaps. But with the range of colors available in the Eco and the range of nibs available on both, you're going to find something that really suits your needs. So if you're looking for a piston filling fountain pen that's in that same sort of, $30 to $55-ish price point, have a look at both of these pens. Have a look at the size comparisons I just did and see which one, suits your needs. In the end, it is personal, and whatever choice that you make, I hope you're happy with it. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button. Please get in touch if there's anything you'd like to, talk about, or if there's products you want me to review, or if you've got something you'd like me to review. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.